Evening. Good evening, moms. Good evening, dads. Welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart with Dads. This is Dads in the picture again. Daddy T. Let's do this. Let's unpack it. What do we have tonight?
Right. Good evening, Daddy Koketso, and good evening to all our viewers, to each and everyone out there, our moms, our dads, and all the beautiful children. I just want to say again, Gala Dumedisa kaofela. It's been a long 2 weeks. Finally, we are back. And yeah, I just want to welcome everyone. And I hope everyone is keeping warm. Let's start there, Baba. Let's start there. Yabana.
Yes. Not forgetting the precautions and the laws that were laid down with regards to rather the regulations that were laid down with regards to the pandemic. Everyone keep warm, keep safe. We have a looming third wave. Hopefully it doesn't come, but yeah, let's keep warm, Daddy. Let's keep warm.
100% Daddy Koketso. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, gala amohela ka lebitso ke Thabiso wa ha Mofikwe, ke tsamaya le ntate Daddy Koketso. And in today's session re tlabe re tshwere kgang e leng hore re ka rata hore re be tafoleng e leng hore re tlo share le lona gompieno. Re tlo bua ka modeling relationships. All right. And Haribuaka modeling relationships. So basically, when you're talking about modeling relationships, we're referring to how you, as a father figure, not only to your children, but as a father figure, wherever you go, how do you carry yourself out? How do you ensure that those who are looking up to you or looking at you, not just looking up to you, looking at you, can be inspired, but not only inspired, just motivated by the way you carry yourself out, the way you speak, the way you treat other people, the way you show gratitude when it comes to talking to other people in general. And that is what we refer to saying modeling relationships and fatherhood.
It's a packed topic. But yeah, who can understand? You can see that a father is a very a strong figure, and when we lose that strength as a role as a father in society, or when we minimize it and diminish it, then it sort of removes the importance of it. A father is a very important role in society, and it keeps everything intact. That role, when a father steps up and really just not in just existence and takes up that role, and as we unpack it, we get to it. I'm trying to just go over a high level explanation of it.
No, continue.
When a dad steps up and plays that role, then you will see the change in society, a change in the way people behave, the way a dad puts together and binds really the roles that leadership and guidance and responsibility should really encompass. I don't know if I went on the right track there, Teddy.
No, you are trying
to encompass it in a high level, but we'll unpack it.
Yeah, no, definitely you're on the right track. And as explained, when you're saying, as a father in a community, you know how it takes umphakathi to grow a child. I think if we also take it from that perspective, Daddy Koketso, by saying, when we say umphakathi, let's go back and refer to that. And within the umphakathi, let's focus on dads in this topic from today, where we're saying, how do we work together to ensure that as umphakathi, as abobaba, we are making sure that ukusasa lwabantwana bethu lo right. I mean, we are faced with many pandemics besides just the one we're going through, yeah, called COVID-19. I'm calling this one a pandemic as well. The Nyaupe situation. Who else is to try and be a model to our young boys out there if it's not me, you, and our fellow dads? Do you understand what I'm saying? How do
I
we
get
work
what you're
together
saying.
and say, let's hold hands together and show them, Uguti, we've been through certain challenges. Certain things will work for you, certain things will not. Kai, ngwana wa motlapa also re, Mona, you don't have to wait for a mistake. This is not the right way. And that is the umpagati party as dads. Let's model. Wa understand like
Yeah.
so ke ile from your context mo leng hore how a father figure to the community, and then it clicked. Basically, those are the words I was trying to look. That's I said you've explained it, you've unpacked it. Larga kwala show no goodbye to everyone. I believe we are done, but because we made an appointment.
One.
So basically, from what we're talking about here, I managed to get in touch with that cousin of mine, young cousin of mine, that inspired today's topic. And I was just basically doing a follow-up, on how's things basically in life, just because of this topic. And you won't believe that as I called him, he mentioned the fact that Examster High, he was doing matric last year.
Yeah.
At some points, he wanted to give up, but he kept thinking about where I am and how he wants to get there, And I was
Yeah.
really touched at the fact that I hadn't spoken to this young man in almost 2 years because of COVID-19 and other issues. But
Mm.
here we are because of the relationship that I have built in front of him, where he can see me, and I've exposed myself, saying, I'm not doing this only for my children, but I'm doing it for everyone around my children, all the other
Yes.
children around him, so that tomorrow I know he has a good circle of friends. And that is why I realized that modeling good relationships, or you yourself, can actually create a rippling effect, which is a
Yes.
positive rippling effect in this case.
Yes.
If you ace this concept, modeling relationships and fatherhood, right?
Yes.
And then yeah, that was basically a great story from what he says. And we had a discussion about his results. And funny to my surprise, he wants to follow the same path. I'm not saying he wants to be like me, but I think I understood where he comes from. And I
Yes.
understood the power of why this topic is so heavy for our producer, and say, I want it to go, even though we complained, but I'm not here to say that. I don't want to get fired. I
No,
hope he's
Daddy.
closing his ears.
Daddy. You mentioned valid points. And it's good that you are modeling it correctly. And you have
Mm.
youngsters looking up to you and wanting you close by when they face these challenges that they have. Like for example, the exams, they look up to you and see you as someone they can draw energy from, someone they can look towards during those hard times, as they are
Mm,
hard.
mm, mm.
One other thing that you didn't mention, and that hit home with me, is at our previous camp, you came with your son. I think my son is
Yes.
is your son's age. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have the guts to bring him there. I don't know how to handle him. He's too energetic. Yeah. So I guess in today's topic we can say that you also inspire other fathers around you, not just the youngsters. Um, because I drew inspiration from that. Next camp definitely is there. He's there definitely.
Oh, thank you. I was about to say, if
Yeah.
he's not there, you are not there. I was going to shut it right now and say, if he's not there, you are not there. Bring him for me. I will focus my energy on him. I grew up in Zavara. I'm over energetic. Look,
Yeah.
with based on what you're saying, Daddy Koketso, at the end of the day, it's not only from father to children,
Yeah.
as explained, not only even your children alone, but other children as well. But it doesn't end there. It doesn't
Yeah.
end there. The power of this thing, that the magnitude of this energy for Seriwankayana is, it can even spread father to father.
Yeah.
Imagine you are a father yourself, you've got children of your own, and then here comes this father who spends so much time. He runs with his kids, and you look at that relationship and you say, oh my word, can I be like that man? Do you understand what
I'm
I'm
missing
saying?
out. I'm missing out.
You are
I'm
missing
missing out.
out. And
Yes.
believe you me, I've got a 2-year-old son right now. He's turning two September ka di 1. My oldest
Yeah.
one turned 10 now, end of May. And when I
Yeah.
heard the great news that we're expecting a second child, do you I had to lose so much weight because I anticipated Ogote. I do not want to miss out of those seconds because of
That's awesome.
other
That.
extreme issues like weight. I was overweight. It almost prohibited me. But now I'm sure I am engaging with my son and I'm also showing him, Rosani, let this be the way you're going to father your children.
Yeah.
Mm. So speaking
Um.
of,
We,
yes.
we have a question from Daddy Z. Daddy
Mhm.
Zibuse. Uh, he says, "How do we model failures as dads?" Do you want to take a bite at that?
I might misunderstand the question, but I will attempt based on what I experienced uh, during the week, where my son is reluctant to join a soccer team. He's been part of a soccer team lately, but now I noticed Uguti, he doesn't want to partake anymore. His energy has dropped down. And then I had a discussion with him. Why was so? Energy and Yarika, pizza CR7. What happened? And Josar Papa, Abanke Nimani, man. The league games,
Wow.
the Bantla fella, oh, the friendly. So now I feel as if I'm not important to the team. So I had to sit
Mm.
down with him. Game in life, there will be challenges.
Yeah.
And these challenges, how do you face them? You will feel like a failure. Agbatlor is a failure. You will feel like a failure. But the important thing that you need to learn is what can I do to be where I want to be? You know, what can I do hore ke tlohe sitting e ke leng ho yona ke be mane mo ke aspire to be where I aspire to be at some stage. And based on what our discussion was, it has now motivated him to focus more and try and practicing not only from the soccer team. Watla wona
Mm.
papa kopara practice o header, papa kopara practice o chest rapper, and he's seeing the results. Then I went to him, I think it was 2 days back now. This is 3 weeks later. Emon. So based on that thing in the soccer team, have you started playing? He says no. And I don't want to play yet. When they say come and play, Baba Makala le bona hore where's the Njavula that they said he cannot play for
Yeah.
league games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think they have to embrace and understand that failure is a part of life. Failure is a part of life that teaches you great lessons. For example, don't be a sore loser in life. Understand that
Correct.
sometimes you will not be number one, sometimes. There will be number one, but it's your duty to fight and make sure you are not number last. I think that's how I would approach the idea of modeling failure. How far am I off this apple tree? Terry
I
Koketso.
think I think you are there. You are spot on.
Mm,
Our children need to experience it. Our children need to know that you won't win in everything in life. I've had failures. You will come home frustrated. My
mm,
wife will
mm,
have failures or a bad day at work. Which to some extent is a failure for me for whoever experiences it. And we need to teach our children that it happens in life. You need to take it, carry it. It's not how you fall; it's how you get up. As it said. Yeah,
mm.
lady.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one. Now, Derek Koketso, just while we're on this topic, let's quickly talk about as a father. As a father, we're referring to the father part and modeling, creating these modeling relationships in and around you. Do you think that we have to wear different masks for us to play this part? Meaning, do we have to wear a modeling mask at home for our children? Then we wear a modeling mask in the workplace. We wear a modeling mask in the church place. Do we wear a modeling mask when we have family gatherings? And to what extent or what advice would we get or touch on when it comes to these masks that we're referring to in terms of being this icon, this pillar, or this model to everyone around us?
You spoke of masks. Are you talking of COVID?
No, I'm not talking about masks. No, I'm talking
But
about
yeah, I know.
us.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just part of me.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
uh, of course, you have to. There's emotional intelligence to everything. You can't
yes.
fair and clear and open book to everyone and everywhere that you go. You have to exercise your grooming to say per se, which is important in a child's life.
Mm-hmm,
You have to know where you are, know who you're talking to, know what to reveal when, where, and why. Um, you can't just open everything up to everyone. It's it's
mm-hmm.
it's gonna destroy you as a person. If certain things that you want unrevealed are revealed where you don't want them to. So yo, that's a big question, eh?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. So I was thinking while you're talking about all right, from my side, I wanted to thank you for that one. What I wanted to do is also let's touch on these masks that you are referring to and what you've just touched on, and briefly explain maybe one or two ways or two situations where, when you're in this situation, which mask or how to wear that mask. You know what I'm saying? For example, just to make it easier for listeners. Yes, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
for
was
basically.
sorry.
All right. So what I'm saying is, for example, when you're with friends and your family, how do you carry out yourself? What can you do? Because remember, no, I remember I had a conversation with one of my colleagues about this topic, and one thing he highlighted to me was, as an African man, or as a man in general, but let me use these words. As an African man, it's a bit difficult to try and be uh, a model and have modeling relationships in and around you, because the community itself expects you as a man to be this way, you know? And that is what
Yeah,
brought me to say, okay, while we're going to be talking about modeling relationships and these masks, what tips or where can we touch a little bit of guidance for some of us who has had the opportunity to explore and say, am I doing this? Yes. Anakia yeta yes. What can we say to other dads out there just to encourage them, to show them, or it doesn't take a 360-degree turn for you to say, let me start. All it takes is you saying, let me start. So when you're with your friends and family, some tips that you can do. Number one, things like participating in marriage and family enrichment programs, and to encourage your friends and brothers to also do the same. Does it make
yeah,
sense?
it makes sense. Complete
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Complete sense.
I approach it in this way. I I vet a person. And we might be a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's not about being at church or being with family or being with friends. It's about personal relationships. And that dictates to me what must to wear when I'm with that person. It's not to
Mm-hmm.
be deceptive to a person, but to know where the boundaries are, um, what to model to them, not to be pretentious, but what to cut back on. So in that, I think my children also see that in knowing that there is an intelligence aspect of things in life. When you interact with people, you need to basically know where you're going with this. What's the relationship with this person? So I don't know. I think they get it. I think they get it. I can't sit there and ask them and say, "Did you see Daddy spoke to this person like this and to this person like this?" I'm assuming that they get it,
Mm-hmm.
but with their interactions with their friends, I coach it with interactions and incidents and things like that. But yeah, basically for me, it's not about choosing. If I'm going to church, I wear a mask like this. If I go to work, I wear a mask like this. It's for me, it's personal interaction with people. I don't know
Mm.
how you deal with it.
Right. No, I get you. I get you. Which is also another point that brings us to. I saw there's another tip someone came through from our. Yeah.
Okay, continue with that point, and then I want to ask you how you deal with it.
All right. No, there was another point. I'm not going to dive into it. Where we see here from Dad's in the picture, there's a comment that says, "Be an active citizen. Be an active citizen." Nje, yourself. If you wanted to know what can I do to start, be an active citizen. All right, Daddy Koketso, throw me with your question.
I wanted
Barambolaye.
to ask you with the mask thing. Since we are in COVID, which mask do you wear to church, and which one to work, and which one to the shops, and which one inside of the gym? Yeah, but we're joking. So, we're talking about masks in COVID, but yeah, remove the COVID part of it. Which mask do you wear, and what's your approach? Since I expressed that my approach is on an interpersonal level. It's not about the
Mhm.
organizational level or institutional level. Even if I go to work, I speak to my manager. I know this person is like this. I speak to a friend. This person is like this. I speak to my daughter. She's like this. My son like this. My pastor like this. How do you navigate those streets?
Hey, wa hlomphe pipinini ngwaneso, empa ke a e lebohela potso ya hao. All right, so basically, ka lehlakoreng la ka, when it comes to the mask situation, I'm going to also put it in a nutshell. I'm an educator by profession. I'm a facilitator and a trainer. Basically, I'm a learning and development practitioner. So
Yeah,
for me, all my masks, the material is designed around motivating other people to basically develop and push themselves.
mm,
That's where all my masks will stem from. But the conversations then will start to differ in terms of where am I? For example, when I'm at work, yes, it's a developmental mask, but what material is it made of? It's going to be made of me conversating with people in terms of things like learn as much as you can from the workplace. Do not fear to ask questions. Spend as much time as you can in different departments so that you can learn as much as you can. Make yourself an asset to the organization. Do
yeah,
not dwell and disappear. Always be present. Are you with me? And then I will take it to because now it's my duty to identify areas of development within the organization. I encourage. Yes, I don't know how to. I encourage them. Even today, I spoke to someone who said yes, he will undergo a VETS program. I try to always encourage them. Try to make sure you learn something. Tomorrow, if they say the company bomb me, what do you have that is yours besides the history of salary, the payslip? Is but what do you have from that company? You know? And then now
yeah,
let's move over to the church. What type of mask am I wearing? Again, it's going to be a developmental one. But in this case, it's going to be more in terms of spiritual development. I will try to encourage the young ones who would say, do not be how can I things like peer pressure, and
yeah,
do not be shy of who you are. If you want to embrace God in a certain way, embrace God in a certain way. Do not try to be a hypocrite, rather be yourself, and those are the topics that are normally associated with Christianity, what I'm trying to say. And
yes,
I'm actually even considering to be the Sunday school teacher, but hey, I think in a lady terrible twins stay enough katlung impa. I should make a plan. I've seen the relationship I've built with those youngsters at church. The children adore me, and same goes my way. The energy is very reciprocal. And then
you
coming
are a
home,
teacher at heart. You are a teacher at heart.
yeah,
You are a teacher at heart. Kahuta, the
yes,
we're describing as it's a good leaks. It's our teachers here.
because I'll teach. Basically,
It's our
that's
teach.
who I am. And
We have
continue.
no, we have a couple of comments, but I think I'm cutting you off. You might as
No,
well
no, no.
continue.
All right. So basically, in a nutshell, that's basically what I was saying. In terms of the different masks that I have to wear, it's all based on development. But let me be honest with you, Koketso. At the end of the day, I think the key to this mask part that we're referring to is try to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Try to always be consistent. With consistency being said, don't forget madi le nama,
Yeah.
akere. So
Yeah.
let's say o tsamaya le ngwana le ko shopong and you're expecting good service, mara or for some reason he as a salesperson or the lady in front or the gent in front mistreating you, disrespecting you as a customer, you will flip. You're a human being, you know? And if it happens, all I'm saying is once everything has cooled down, yes, your child was in your presence, they got to experience that. Bua le yena. You know, my son, my daughter, wherever you're going to work one day, love your job. Mutole went to accident ya haye, maybe I can blame me, maybe una le stress sa haye, but there is no way to treat customer. Love your job, smile. Koro sontso or motivator from the situation that happened, but at the same time you're trying to shield the very same person on rana lena or on stress. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I'm trying to show you the reality is we might lose it for 1 or 2 seconds. Just remember, it's not about how we felt, but it's about how we stand up. I think those are your words. All right. So
Yes.
as you
Yeah.
mentioned, we've got a couple of comments coming through. We've got Jones Mababa. One needs to be careful and manage one's brand as we shouldn't confuse people we interact with. This needs to be consistent. And there's the word consistency coming in again. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much, Sam. I think there was another comment, Koketso. Did you have another comment that you wanted to pull through?
It's a question. It's a question that we have.
Right, right.
How how do we model a father who is a lover? We're trying to raise these children that are complete. I think last
Hmm.
time we said wrong, and someone questioned it, and we corrected it and said complete. How do we model a father who is a lover so that our complete children can fully appreciate that modeling and sort of adopt it and apply it in their lives?
I think I'm gonna
You wanna
put you on
chew
the
on that?
spot. Yeah,
Do you want to chew on that a bit?
yeah. If you give me a second, how do we model a father who is a lover? All right, I'm a bit vague on this one. A lover, children, a lover, spouse, a
A
lover
lover in
partner.
general, a person that's loving, a lover.
How do we model a father who is a lover?
Yes.
Yeah, not a difficult one.
How basically how do we show their children that loving is okay? How do we show them that love what you do, love your partner, love your children, love everything that you do, love life. Um,
Just be
you don't have to
loving.
be angry. Yes, you don't have to be angry at anything. As you're expressing now, people have stress in life. Just love, like smile, enjoy.
Were you
you know,
were you explaining the question to me or were you answering? Because I think you've just answered.
um, I'm partly explaining, partly answering, but take a chew at it. What do you think?
No, I think you've basically from what you're explaining, I think I picked up the answer. How do I okay to a father who is a lover or a lover as in a husband? I think in my case I would say
Yeah, I think let's sway towards that. I think let's chop it up and say, okay, let's deal with
as a
a lover
husband.
is yeah.
Hey, yeah, ne? All right. So I would say, yeah, it's a really the psychologist. Look, when it comes to trying to help out a lover as in a husband, I would say embrace it, number one. And number two, own it. Besides just embracing it, own it. That's what I would basically approach it from that stance. What I'm saying is I would go full in to try and show him how to engage it. You understand? Do not be shy to open a door.
Daddy, are you saying owning the relationship, owning the modeling, owning the showing of the love? What are you owning?
I think I was more towards own your position as a
Yeah.
lover, as a husband. and that would encompass everything that you've basically just asked me as a even affection. Own it. I recently I saw a video on social media. This young girl sitting with a young boy, picnic type of vibes, and she was taking a video or DVD, but the guy was not aware. And as the
Yeah,
girl was saying, "Lena ke a o rata," the boy said, "Go rata more." Still unrealizing he was being recorded. When he
yeah.
noticed, he jumped and he ran. And the words he uttered before the video was cut was, "Sa tlhaisa rae pinch tsa ka di tlo reng?" You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
show
yeah,
that to the public. Don't record that. What are my peers and what are other guys? What are they going to say about me? That's what I'd say. Own it. The
So,
pride of opening a door to your wife and closing it after her. You know what I'm saying?
mm, when you're speaking of opening doors and things like that, I saw Daddy Mish did that a number of times, Hanale Patnai. And I was wondering, wow, at this age, people still open doors. But I I I comprehend it now. I understand. Well, I'm still learning that one day I'll open a door for my wife. But yeah, I did
before
it
we
maybe in
get
a
before we get there to you, I want you to be that person. But tell me something about Daddy Mish. When he did that, was he aware or Rom Shebil?
Yes, he was. He was fully.
Daddy Mish. I have a feeling Daddy Mish was showing off. But anyway, it's not me who said that. I'm joking. I repeat them more. So you're saying you wish to be
Repeatedly. Now for now modeling it to the children, a loving father will
Mm,
be being affectionate to my wife in front of them, um showing them that chores are not for mother or
mhm,
mommy, they are for everyone, and we practice that in this house, Shem. I'll go wash the car with my daughter. I'll sweep the floor with her. Uko high no school is toilet.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
COVID teacher tested positive. Another story for another day. But yeah,
mhm,
Remo High do all the chores together. I'm a teacher. I'm a cleaner. I'm a laundry worker. I'm a cook. Well, one, and we do all
mm.
those things together so that she can see that le mama tsena, we are all good. Um,
And you're working
there's
as a team
affection.
at the end of the day.
We're working as a team. We affectionate. Re tadila mo sofeng ba botlhe, watch a movie together,
Spot
and
on.
yeah, so that
Spot
you
on.
can
Spot
show
on.
these things and they get to learn and appreciate as time goes on that this is what they should look for.
Mm, mm, mm. And funny
There's a
enough,
quote
when you mention,
coming
yeah,
on now.
continue.
It says, "Do you believe in kissing your spouse in front of your children?" Absolutely,
Totally,
absolutely,
totally.
100, 1,000%. I give my wife a kiss on the cheeks, on the lips when she leaves. Bye, baby.
Mm.
I'll see you. Yeah,
Um,
in front of the
I've
children.
actually I've actually started something because I realized one thing. Speaking of that, when I sat down and thought about my father and mom, they've been doing that. Ha kgutla ka tlung, mba, ha tswa mba. So I wanted to say, how do I up it a notch? For those who are watching, especially my children. Last night,
Yeah,
I found myself standing up after supper and going to her. I cooked, mind I say. I
yeah,
cooked. After the after supper, I went to her and said, "Thank you for a lovely meal." And I kissed her for that, not even for "Ke Maya, bye bye, ke kgutlile, hello,"
yeah,
wa understand? To
yeah.
take it to the next level. So to answer that question, as confident as Daddy Koketso was, I also agree. Yes, definitely we do. All right. So Daddy Koketso, we were basically touching on how do you create or how do you shape this modeling of relationships as a father and basically as a friend. And funny enough, under that one of friends and family, the last point I have, besides the ones I've mentioned, consistency, leading with empathy. The last one I had under that topic was help mothers at home, be supportive as a father, be involved with the chores, with the children, and ask your wife as often as possible, how can you be more involved in the household itself? All right. Then the next one, basically, this is another group that I said we want to touch on is in terms of masks. In the workplace, how do you model relationships as a father in the workplace? And some of the questions I got from my workplace. I was talking to two different gentlemen, a young one and an elder. And the young one said to me, create personal policies and work environments that respect and encourage the commitment of fathers. Create personal policies and an environment, basically create an environment that respects and encourages commitment of fathers in the workplace. Does it make sense?
It makes sense, and you know, I'm lucky enough to have an environment. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear.
An environment where uh, we 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 encourage such. Oh, they encourage such, and we encourage each other, and um, especially during this period where everyone is in lockdown, as I explained. I'm at home, working from home for a year almost now, and well, we are encouraged to be present at home. We are encouraged to look after our children. I explained I'm at home with my daughter every day now, till the end of this week, and we all share stories about our homes, our children, our families, our lives at home. So I guess it boils down to the environment at work. Um, if it allows you to be free spirited in that sense and open up and talk about those topics, then you become sort of free to express yourself in that sense. But there are environments, as other dads will experience and moms, where it's all about the bottom line of the company. We don't care if you have children, we don't care if you live on the streets or anything. But yeah, I'm lucky enough to have an environment where it's supportive of family, and we are able to embark on those things. And a few of my colleagues and I actually meet up with our children, and we encourage each other to be there for each other.
That is good news. That is good news. Thanks, Dr. Koketso. Especially now when you're saying the challenges of environments or work environments where the ideology of speaking about our children, sometimes it may not be supported.
Mm.
Unfortunately for my colleagues, I'm one of those people who I will be all up in your face, the youngsters. That's how they put it, all up in my grill. But basically, from what I'm saying is, recently, I think you also remember we went to our camp as that's in the picture. By the way, that was awesome. To all our viewers, get in touch with myself, Daddy Koketso or Daddy Zibuse. Ask about the activities we have to encourage these types of relationships. We do have camps. So basically, going back to the topic, the last camp that we went to, you should have seen me in the workplace, making sure I buy the sleeping bag during lunch. Center of attention. There was a weekend. There was a weekend, need I say, but I had to make sure get rekaka lunch at work so that I can answer those questions. Who is that for? What is that
Yes,
for? When are you going on camp? I went. I went. Explain that's in the picture what we do with the aim of the group, the relationships we build in, what we get and what our children get from these camps. And I'm telling you, it was explosive. I think for our next camp, I might actually even have to hire an Iveco to accompany the group of people who say they want to be a part of the group, especially when they hear with can't what is the financial cost to it. They were like, we are in. We are in.
that's awesome stuff. That's awesome stuff. We got a comment from Dedi Jabu. He says, "Love is indeed kind." Yes, Dedi Z. It is kind indeed. Um, Ndate Mufuk.
Kina wana wanis.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna jump into something now, which you might have to answer to.
Sibaka ke sa hao ngwaneso.
Uh, we all, as we spoke, we all get stressed out, and you get home. Like we spoke earlier today, my son wouldn't want to sit on his chair; he wanted to stand on it. after 5 times of reprimanding and saying, how do you deal with such situations? And mind you, my daughter was sitting right there on the couch. Um, I had to now model this great fatherhood to her to show her what to expect
Mm,
in
mm.
a future husband or wife if she chooses whichever direction. What
Eish. Wa jwale nna Koketso ka sebele ke motho a leng hore he qala ke bua maka le sefahleho sa tjho hore tjha e ngata mona, so I'm just going to be blatant and honest with you.
you
And
want
I'm
that?
using the previous situation that happened recently. It was quite a dangerous situation, but the principle that I live by is I will protect you, but I will not shield you from experiencing life. So, with that being said, I would take it as far as analyzing the environment. Ana stulo se mo spalamelang teng, what is around him? Waka stulo sa spalama. Lucky for him, ke di-sofa tsa ntse mpotileng, and then there's a carpet all over the floor. So I'm waiting for the day he will fall, because the situation for me says he's not going to get hurt that much. And with him falling, I don't think he will go back there. But no, like I was saying to you, I will protect from injury, but I will not yield or shield you from learning and living. You
Up at the
understand what
school,
I'm saying?
up at the school fees. I too don't
Yeah.
know. Standing on that point will give you a burning arm and then a follow. Next time, why
Yeah.
is row more? What will follow?
What will
Okay,
follow? I mean,
let me turn it up. Let
yes.
me turn it up. Yo, active citizens. Ne? Speaking
Okay.
on dads as active citizens, as in staying current with the politics and current affairs and things like that. What would you say would be an aspect that we need to take into account when modeling our fatherhood and relationships? I know it's loaded. You can dissect
Mm.
it and chop it up. What would you say we should model to our children in terms of staying current with the current affairs and politics?
Just basically being involved in this situations that we live on a day to day, your
Yes,
politics
essentially affect
situations
us.
and your current affairs.
That eventually affect our economics and your income and how you can travel or buy or do whatever. How if
Mm.
eventually it's the quality of life that you have.
Thank you. I think the answer to that question or to that topic is basically to say it's the quality of life. Before my two boys, I want to use the word as blatant as it is. I was quite ignorant where I would say blatantly, I do not entertain politics. At that age, Kena Kwatane, former presidents and the ones before him, things were starting to really push towards corruption and all that. And I would tell myself, I'm done. I'm not going to entertain politics, Beketswara, and any current affairs that are happening in our country. But ever since Kena Lebana, this is where I started seeing what it's no longer about me as a dad. It's about my kids. He will come because Hadlala playground, he will come and have a question. I was trying to shield him from the fact that COVID kills. Within 5 days of this COVID happening around, what like Baba, can the COVID ya bolaya? So I
Yeah,
had to understand and remove that thing. Yeah, okay. From here on, my son is going to be exposed to the word death and what it means. Then I had to go into it. Baba.
yeah,
So yeah, I would like to say we need to involve ourselves as much as possible as fathers in terms of being active citizens and engaging with current affairs, politics, and the things that are happening in and around us. Because the more we do that, we're also encouraging our young ones, the children, Ogote, there's things like the internet. Don't only use it for social media. Expose yourself to reading, expose yourself to being informed. You are exposing your children to things like reading books, you know. So that is where for me it comes. I was not a reader, but now I'll make sure weekend he sees me, and I'm not doing it to pretend. Even though, let's say, someone argue pretender, pretense happen to be a hobby now. So who judges? Pretense
Friends
happened
is a
to be
hobby.
a hobby.
Yo,
So,
all I have.
yes. And by the end of the day, I am now a person who likes to be involved. God, I'm telling you the quick. At our last camp, Nick, I was engaging in all topics. Had you thrown politics, but because of the
You
questions they
actually
brought
did.
out,
You actually did
eh?
leave. We did throw in politics. You actually left.
Thank you. I think it did happen. Yes. But because of what is happening, I had to engage. I have to learn. I have to. No, Papa, I was really ignorant, and I'm not going to lie about it. I only channeled my interest to the things that are directly impacting my life, which is not the
Yeah,
case. I bought a textbook right now. Yeah, law. I've got nothing to do with law, but I want
yeah,
to understand law. Papa, why batho bane ba motibekile mosebetsing o ne a ya dilo a reng ke explain from a law perspective, but
yeah,
not only for him but for myself as well.
yeah,
Imagine just understanding the minimum principles of a lot of things. I remember one of my idols, I think it's Robert Kiyosaki, he does say it's better to know little of everything than to know everything of something.
yeah. You need
It's
to know
better
you.
to know, yes, it's better to know a little of everything than to know everything of just something. A1.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope I answered you.
Yes, you did. Just to add on to what you said, I think it's good that we engage these topics around being active as a citizen,
Mm,
involved in politics and current affairs. Um, there's obviously things that are beyond the scope of what a child will understand, but as a parent, as you know it, and you slowly coach your children into it,
mm, mm,
they,
mm,
they
mm.
get to understand the bigger picture as they become productive citizens, productive members of society. They get to know where they fit in. It's a whole
Yes.
system. They need to know where they slot in. If I decide I'm becoming a lawyer, this is where I fit in. An engineer, this is where I fit in. An economist, this is where I fit in. If I want to teach like DDT, this is where I fit in. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm,
so
mhm,
that they
mhm.
have perspective, even when as they choose their careers and grow on. We sort of give them a full picture. Unlike for some of us, me being one of them, got to understand where I fit in later in life.
Yes.
You get to understand as you make your choice in career what impact you make and where you fit in the whole value chain. But topic for another day.
Mhm.
We were tackling fatherhood today, and I think in explaining those things, to our children, we will have accomplished a lot. They will be more. I'll use the word again, stronger people than we are. I
I
think
want
we've
to.
coined it. They'll be stronger people.
No one is so high. I think you basically put it in a way that I wouldn't. I think Dedicate, if you would allow me, I think
Yeah,
this topic was very exciting today. As much as when we discussed Ribuaka Kayona, as we engaged during the week, it almost seemed to be impossible. But thank you for your encouraging words where you said to me, it will come. I thank you for that. I think we can basically wrap it up. What do you think? Unless you have one more topic that you'd like us to iron out, as you used to, and then you call yourself my partner in this one. No, I believe you are here to punish me.
no, I'll crack the whip every once in a while, but I think today I'm done. Maybe just one. Maybe just
Ish.
one. Maybe
Okay,
just one. It's relating to what I asked you before. You can
okay,
throw it back. You can throw it back. It can be a boomerang.
okay.
Um, Nere bolela ka ngwana mo setulong,
All
ne?
right, all right,
Uh, and I'm gonna switch it up to boundaries. How do you
okay.
set that boundary? Um, it's a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, in front of you. Ne? I'm not setting boundaries in terms of not getting on the chair. I'm setting
Yes, yes.
boundaries in terms of the 12-year-old sister watching
Mm-hmm.
daddy reprimanding a 4-year-old that's standing on a chair. I'm setting boundaries in front of a 12-year-old who is gonna
Mm-hmm.
be in the same room with the 4-year-old when I'm in the bathroom, for example. She needs to know where the boundaries are. Does she shout at the 4-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
Does she carry the 4-year-old off the chair? Does she hold the hand?
Mm-hmm.
Or does she say something for him to fall? What are the boundaries there?
All right.
What boundaries is there?
Nka
Did you get me?
ke kgutletsa ho wena ke utlwile hantle ngwaneso ke utlwile hantle tjena potso e felletse ke utlwile le o mena wa swahlana ka diaparo ha ke utlwile kaofela empa se ka o tjhola hore nka e kgutlisetsa ho wena if ke bona hore ke batla e kgutlisetsa hai
Oh, block.
ko beha man ko beha man
Okay, go on, go on.
we see Ellen.
Yeah,
Now it's a very difficult one. Look, in terms of this one, I think I don't have an answer per se to approach it, but however, I think at this stage, one thing I'm trying to push when it comes to boundaries for my children is fairness. What I do this side, I do that side. And when I say that, I can't no. What I'm saying is they both know, or they will both know eventually. Or sometimes it's just proper lash, or and sometimes depending on the danger of the situation, there's a lot of things. I'm a human being. I'm not going to sit here and make myself perfect at Koketso. Ke na lose temper ke kgutle ke buele ngwana ka ke re kopa o ntshwarele the way ke buile. That's because as a parent, I don't only have authority. Yes, it's given to me, but I have to gain it as time goes on. All this is so for
yeah,
setting the boundaries. I think for me it would go around two ideas: the idea of fairness and then also the idea of respect. No matter what I do, I still
yeah,
also show respect. And then if at some stage I feel hore, the respect might have just been out of the window hanyane from me as a parent, I should not be ashamed of going back and saying sorry about the way ke buile le wena, mara le wena ska lebala papa so that happily while I'm talking about boundaries, it's also going to teach them in future or speak your mind but respect others. They will be in the workplaces, but one day. Speak your
yeah,
mind. Do not be a sorry type of person on top, but do
yeah,
not be a bulldozer on other people. Humble yourself and
yes,
stay within the boundaries.
yes.
Mm.
We must learn to apologize to our children when you have aired. Sandra, apologize, Daddy. And I think you've summed it up nicely. I was clapping my hands. Fortunate I was not on camera, but yeah, wow. Yo, I learned a couple of things from that answer. I
No,
learned a couple,
Kelly.
and I know I also lose my temper
Mm.
in front of them sometimes, and I in most cases go and apologize. In sometimes
100%.
I don't, it's because I haven't realized that I've heard. That's why I will not say always. I'll say
Mm,
sometimes.
mm, mm.
Mm.
All
But
right,
yeah,
shall we wrap it up?
I think it's a wrap from Dad's in the picture. Unless you have something that it was an
No,
awesome
I
chat.
don't, my brother.
I had a great chat with you, and I can see from the comments that the people that tuned in, our viewers enjoyed it. Moms and dads, thank you for tuning in. Daddy T,
Mhm. All right. First of all, I just want to also thank.
thank you.
Also, thank you very much. Thank you very much, DK. I also just want to give gratitude to the last comment that came through from Mr. Jabu Mchweni. A
Yeah,
great session, Mr. Mchweni. Sibonga kakhulu, Baba. It wouldn't be a great session if it wasn't for the energy that is coming from you and our other viewers on the other side. And then,
yeah,
Daddy Koketso, once again, thank you for a lovely, great and energetic session. Just to also remind you and myself that when we are here, we are not here to portray ourselves as the perfect human beings. We are just here to engage and have a relaxing chat on a beautiful Tuesday evening with our fellow dads who are in the pictures of everyone right now. So basically what we're saying is, yes, it's just one of those sessions, and we know that in future we'll be having more and more audiences, and we basically opening more channels for you guys to engage with us. We also have social platforms where you can engage after this show or before shows, and to also prepare yourself, see what topics are coming next. Maybe there's a topic that is already touching you and you want to throw a question before we start, you're more than welcome to do so. And remember that you can also visit our website. You can go to www.dadsinthepicture.co.za. You can even follow us on Facebook. We also are on YouTube. Daddy Koketso, hello, jalo ngwaneso.
Thanks for tuning in. Awesome evening. It's cold. I'm going to my heater now. But yeah, it was nice hanging out with everyone that's tuned in. The show, the episode is gonna be up on YouTube. It's gonna be up on our page on Facebook, as the T said. Those that watch it on later, please comment, give us pointers, give us hints, say what you like, say what you don't like, and thank you for tuning in. Till in 2 weeks' time.
100%, eh? See you again in 2 weeks' time. Ladies and gentlemen, Dad's in the picture. Daddy Koketso, Daddy Thabiso, Re Kwala Re. Thank you. Siabo.